One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Why you looking so hard? You worried about the wrong play, man. Go look in the mirror. Dust. You on my page before you brush your teeth. You stuck in my gram while I'm in the streets. You worrying about my bag, worrying about my wins. You ain't worrying about your pockets looking paper thin. Look at you, man, musty, can't be trusted. Hating on my shine cause your whole life busted. You could be doing so much if you looked at you, but you rather look at me. That's the bum in you. You complaining about the work that I got in the vault, but you ain't willing to undo it. That's your own damn fault. I'm not sorry, I don't care, I don't feel no pity. You a clown in the suburbs, I'm the man of the city. You looking through my window with a greedy eye, instead of in the mirror asking who am I? You a hater, you a watch, you a non-starter. While I'm climbing up the charts, yeah, I'm going harder. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You worry about my downfall, that's why your vision ain't clear. You're dusty. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You could be winning too, bro, winning too, but you rather be a failure. I don't feel you, I don't see you, I don't hear you. You just a gnat in my ear, I just brush you off. You just mad cause I'm the boss and you looking soft. You ain't willing to do the work that I've done. I was up at 4 a.m., you was having fun. I was 72 hours fasting, getting my mind right. You was on the timeline, starting up a new fight, but the fight ain't with me. Man, the fight is with yourself. You could have the same damn drive, you could have the wealth, but you rather be a critic, you rather be a troll. While I'm knocking down goals at the Super Bowl, I don't feel no pity, I don't feel remorse that you chose to stay immune while I'm a damn horse. This a race and you ain't even at the starting line. Too busy drawing pictures of my finish line. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You worried about my downfall, that's why your vision ain't clear. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You could be winning too, bro, winning too, but you rather be a failure. Let's get it. My focus is on growth, my focus is on winning. My focus is on the next chapter, just beginning. I'm too busy, man, my calendar is packed. I'm too busy building up, I'm too busy building stack. I'm coaching up the team, I'm on the max, I'm on the string. I'm building in the world, I'm living out the dream. And you are not a factor, you are not a threat. You were just a bad investment, you were bad bet. I'm not sorry for you, I'm not sorry for the facts that I'm out here running up the score to the max. I don't see you, you are invisible to me, cause I'm everything you're jealous of, scared of me. Real talk, if you took a little time and focus on your own success instead of on my damn downfall, you wouldn't be so dusty. Ha. Maybe you should try it if you wanna win, but you won't.
I think I update my settings real quick. Settings, output, different intervals. Oh, it's connecting right now, but then it's gonna get fine in a few. Let me see. And you know what? Shout out to you coming a tech mercenary. What's going on here? Hold on, what's going on? Oh my goodness. All right, I see what's going on here. Shout out to my guy, your car in the building, for sending those 10 memberships. Membership bombed me. well. I think we got. All right, we should be good now. All right. Shout out to my guy Yakar. Sending those 10 memberships. That's super duper appreciated. All right. Let's do this real quick because presets. What does that mean? Let's see if we can figure out what that means, if we can fix it. Because I remember back in the days I used to see this error, but I never really looked into it. So we should be fine going forward, because usually it's at the very beginning of it this happens, and then we were fine. It says this error message means your computer cannot process the video fast enough to maintain the settings you have chosen. Essentially, your CPU or GPU is maxed out. When you stream or record, OBS has to capture the game screen, compose the scene, and then encode, compress the data into a video file or stream. If this process takes longer than the time allowed for a single frame, 1/60th of a 60 frame per second, OBS drops the frame resulting in stuttering or freeze. Okay, that makes sense. Here's a breakdown on how to fix this, ranked from easiest to most effective. Go to settings, video, reduce these settings to significantly lower the load on your computer. Lower output scale. If you're streaming at 1080p 19, then drop it. I don't want to do that. This reduces the pixel count by over 50%, making it much easier to encode. Lower common FPS values, frame per second values. Drop it to 30 frames per second. This cuts to the rendering work in half. Let's see what we have for that one. I think I have 30 for that one, so that should be good. Let me take a look. Frames per second. Don't see that. Adjust encoder presets. Go to settings, output. All right, video. So I have 30 for that. Go to settings, output, ensure output mode is set to advanced. Let's see, output, advanced. Look for CPU preset. The settings range from ultra fast, lowest quality. Okay, change your presets to something faster. Move from fast to very fast or super fast. Have very fast. If using, okay, switch your encoder. If your computer is using 100%, it's not though. But your graphic card is still chilling, or vice versa. Video encoder, hardware. Let me see, video encoder. I have X264. If this uses your main CPU, only use this if you have a very powerful CPU like Ryzen. Okay. I'm gonna play with that later on, but I think we should be good for now though. At the beginning it normally takes a few minutes to catch up, but we should be good. We should be good to go. All right, let's jump into get started on the show. Sorry about that. It always confuses me when that happens. But either way, welcome. How is everyone doing on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon? Hopefully that your weekend is going great. We're heading towards the end of the year. Hopefully that you have all your affairs in order getting into 2026. Everything that you have to do for 2025 has been taken care of. And now we are heading into 2026. We're ready to hit the ground running. I like to get a start on the next year, 2026, a few months in advance. So we are already planning, strategizing, looking into our machine learning our platform engineer, looking into AI agent engineering, and this we're going to be talking about the forward deploy engineer, I think it's called. So, anyways, we are planning, strategizing for 2026. All right. Let's get started. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, whether they have been with me for a very, very long time or whether you are brand new to the channel. I really, really appreciate all your support, all your help, allowing me to add value into your lives. I truly, truly appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And shout out to my tech barbarians. Those are the Patreon members. We had a great vibe code and chill session. Junior gave me some really, really good ideas actually on the Stream Deck plugin that we're working on. We're going to continue at this coming Thursday. Magnetar shared some amazing insight on his math endeavors with Math GPT versus Chat GPT versus Gemini, and how he's using all three of those to do some great work. So we're going to continue those conversations every other Saturday for Vibe Code and Chill. We had an amazing Scrum night. I'm dropping some amazing content in there. Looking forward to seeing you there. Very soon you'll be able to get access to the coaching portal that's going to help you with whatever you need to do, whatever goals you're trying to accomplish, especially heading into 2026. That is the place that is I'm going to get it ready by 2026 to make it available to people to start using it. I'm working on giving it to my tech barbarians, my Patreon members, free of charge, so that it'll be part of your plan and you can log in with your Patreon membership and you can, get your affairs in order. As I said earlier, you can get your affairs in order. Okay. And last but certainly not least, shout out to Yakar for those tech mercenary memberships. Shout out to all of my tech mercenaries out there who allow this channel to go across the entire world, different languages, different regions, allowing me to add value into help get this tech knowledge out to everyone. All right. So shout out to you. We are the best.
We the best.
And let's go out there. Let's go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
All right. So quick announcements upcoming this week. Tomorrow, we're going to be having a candid conversation. I'm still working on that one, so I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be about, but you know how those kind of conversations go. I'm thinking that it's going to be about getting closer towards the end of the year, looking back on what we say we're going to do, how we did it, and then talking about 2026. It'll be something in line with that. Focus and purpose. At the end of the day, focus and purpose. That's the theme of this channel. Focus, purpose, and running it up in the tech game. All right. We're going to be live Tuesday night. We're going to be working on time cost calculator, adding more features. We're going to be working on the timer some more. And then Wednesday, I believe it's called forward deploy engineer. It's the next evolution of these jobs, AI, all that. So I'm working on a bunch of things for this week. And then, like I said, this coming Thursday, I'm so happy to work on this. The Stream Deck plugin for our timer, it's working, but we're gonna make it even better. And I was talking about it. I'm telling you, Junior gave me some amazing ideas. I'm gonna share it with you guys on Thursday. What we're gonna do, how we're going to formulate it, and I'm going to. This is what Junior. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of what we spoke about, right? Junior and I were talking. We're like, you know what? We can make it a free version of the plugin that has limited functionality, and then a paid version of the plugin, so that you can monetize it, but also give some value for the free version as well. So I'm gonna share that. We're gonna work on it this coming Thursday. A lot of good stuff happening. All right, but that is everything. That is everything. Hopefully, I'm able to see you throughout the week as we run up this tech game. All right. But those are all of our announcements. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will. I read this local news. It is actually local news. I read this article, or I saw the headline, and I read like the first line of the article, and I was annoyed. I mean, you know what? We're going to talk about this because we continue to put ourselves in a hole.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
All right, but let me check the chat real quick, and then we're going to get to it. Let me see. We got Junior in the building. What's good, Junior? How are you doing? Hopefully everything is going well. We got my guy, Yakar, with the 10 memberships for the Tech Mercenary. Shout out to my guy, Yakar. It is always a blessing and a pleasure to see you around these ways. Let's see. And it's awesome that Yakar gifted himself his own membership. I mean, that is awesome, right? Let me see. Junior says the video is still frozen, but the audio is better. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it always starts off like that. So I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna mess around with it, play around with it, maybe create some private streams to see what is causing that, and if I can configure my settings, because I don't think that was happening a few weeks ago. So I might have did something. But we're here now. I can see it on my end that we're good. So thank you so much. Let me see. So we're good. All right. So let's jump into this because this really bothered me. All right. Let's do a little icebreaker real quick. Why do we continue to do such stupid things? Stupid. All right. So this is the article. All right. Let's go over here. A third Broward County is in Florida, South Florida, the county that I'm in. Third Broward County basketball coach accused of renting out gym for illicit tournaments. Why are we doing this? So allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly because no one's been convicted yet. I don't believe. Says Donald Calloway, 50, an assistant girl basketball coach at Coral Springs High School, is facing charges of grand theft and organized scheme to defraud, an arrest affidavit has said.
Bruh.
Why? Let me see if I have sound on this. Let me see if I can watch this. Does this work?
According to officials, these just breaking news out of Broward.
Oh, let me see if I can. Whatever. Let's just read the article, right? So that means there are already more than one. Another Broward County high school basketball coach was arrested in a scheme to illegally rent out gyms for tournaments that involve two other coaches, the authority said. Donald Calloway, 50, an assistant girls basketball coach at Coral Springs High School. Coral Springs High School is really close to where I live, right? Is facing charges of grand theft and organized scheme to defraud, and an arrest affidavit stated. Authorities announced, let me zoom in on this. Oh, that's big. Authorities announced arrest of Blanche Ely High School. That's also a high school that's really close to me. Boys basketball coach Henry McNabb and Coral Springs High School girls basketball coach Brenton Hankerson. So the head coach, the assistant coach for Coral Springs High School basketball on Thursday in connection with the scheme. Goodness. According to the affidavit, Calloway rented out several illicit basketball tournaments at Coral Springs High School from April to June. He allegedly rented out the gym without following the proper channels and entered private agreements with outside basketball associations, the affidavit said. So basically, he made deals and contracts with other people for property that he does not own or have the right to. Now, why is this such a big deal? All right, because what if someone, because basketball or whatever they're playing in those gyms, they are contact sports. So what if somebody gets hurt on the property of Coral Springs High School or Blanche Ely High School or whatever gyms that they're renting out? You could who gets sued for that? Is gonna be the school, the city, the county, maybe the state. And who pays for these lawsuits? Me? You? Right? Like, and this is the part that I was like, are you serious? Are you serious here? So Callaway allegedly arranged the rental payments through Hankerson, who compensated Callaway for it. His total profit from the scheme was $2,800, the affidavit stated. Stupid. $2,800. Really? $2,800? Is that really worth it? Now you have to pay lawyer fees. Probably, like, I don't know if you go to jail for this. Maybe you get some type of probation. You definitely get fired as the coach for the team. Why? Like, why? Meanwhile, McNabb had rented out Blanche Ely's gym multiple times for tournaments and had also rented out the gym at Hollywood Hills High School, the affidavit stated. Oh my God. Callaway was still booked in Broward's main jail as of Friday. I know Broward's main jail pretty well. Pretty well, because I used to do bail bonds over there, and I'd have to go over there all times a day, put in a bond, get people out. All three coaches could be subject to termination. They haven't been terminated already? That's surprising. They could be subject to termination, Broward County public officials said in a statement. This is the most recent arrest by Broward Schools Police. This most recent arrest by Broward School Police is part of an ongoing investigation into the improper use of district facilities for personal gain.
How dare you?
It again reaffirms the superintendent's commitment to transparency and to rooting out public corruption, the district said in a statement Friday about Callaway's arrest. Why? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we even getting involved in this type of stuff? Like, you put so many people at risk, including me, the taxpayer, right? And for $2,800, it's not like you can't rent out these gyms. They have public, like city-owned gyms. Like in Coral Springs, they have the Coral Springs gymnasium that you can rent out. They rent it out for jiu-jitsu tournaments. You can use it for basketball, but they want to go through these schemes, and then now they ruin their lives. How do you think now these coaches look in the eyes of their players? Scheming, defrauding, all allegedly, of course, right? All allegedly, because they haven't been convicted of the crime yet. But why? And if you look back this week, right? The head coach of Michigan football fired, arrested, threatening people, allegedly stalking people, and for what? For what? It's like a pattern, and this one is this one is just so dumb. It's just so dumb to me that you would put yourselves, your players, the school board, because somebody gets hurt somewhere, like, because, and they sign a contract with you, you're not gonna get, like, you have $2,800. Are they gonna sue you for those $2,800? Okay, like, but they're gonna be suing the county, the city for millions of dollars. It's just so, I don't even know. Let's just stop doing stupid stuff, right? Stop doing stupid stuff. That is the moral of the story, all right? Stop doing stupid stuff, okay? We are going to get to work. Let me check the chat real quick and then let's get to work, all right? Let me see. Junior says, nobody thinks that far when they commit crimes. That is true. It says, got arrested for chump change. $2,800 for the, and on the other end, on the other, well, because I suppose I don't know this, but I suppose that there has to be, number one, security cameras at the school. Number two, I don't know, I guess there might not be an alarm for the gym, right? But when I drive by these schools, the gates are locked. So either people have to park on the outside, or the coaches have to go and unlock the gate so the cars can go and park. And then like, it just seems like so much commotion that would be happening. I don't know. It's just whatever. Anyways, let's get to bigger and better things. Let's get to bigger and better things. All right. Today, we're going to be working on the speech coaching app. So last time when we left off, the app was not recording our audio. So we're going to try to figure out why that's happening and get it to record the audio so that we can proceed and start analyzing the speech. Because we had, like 2 weeks ago, we had it recording the audio. Last week, we made some updates, some changes. It wasn't recording the audio. We're going to troubleshoot, figure out why. And then we are going to keep it moving. All right. Junior says he would more than likely have access to open up. Yeah, it just seems like it would just be like so much stuff that's happening that the school, like, it would take this. Well, I don't know. Well, April to June, that's a while ago. I don't know. It's just weird. That it just annoys me. It just annoys me that people would be getting caught up in such it's like silly schemes, right? Defrauding for such little amount of money. You know, even if it was a lot of money, it's still not good, but at least like you have something to show for it, even if you're not going to get to keep it, right? Anyhow, I'm actually going to be using my my timer today. I'll just show it to you. I'm just going to show it to you. My new Stream Deck timer. It's not fully completed yet, but it does work. So I'm just going to put it over here on this screen real quick. And we are going to, if I can find this real quick. Let's go to Android. All right. I will do it over right now. So let's bring this over here. Bring that over here. All right, so I'm gonna just share the screen first. I'm gonna show you that my Stream Deck plugin is actually working. Hopefully, fingers crossed though. You guys see that? You see my little my countdown is happening, so I can just peek over at my Stream Deck and I'm like, oh, look at that, 20 there's 19 minutes and 50 seconds left. All right, so I'm gonna put that over here for now because we don't need that on the screen, but. What happened to us last time is, let me close this off. All right, so what happened last time is the recording was not working. So we have some logs in there to see why it's not, to try to figure out why it's not working. We need to figure that out. So basically, let's go to, let's start the app. We're going to do it on the Pixel Fold. And let me see if there's any, I don't know if there's any settings in here that would cause the audio not to record. Let's see. Okay, let's see over here. So that's the emulation part of it. Boot type. Why is it? I am in the wrong app. All right, hold on. Let's stop that. I'm in the wrong project. I mean, let's go to recent projects. This one, new. Let's go to this window. All right. Let's say that. All right, now here we are. So we have our Pixel Fold running. We are going to get the app running. And oh, so when I was looking in here, I didn't see anything that would be controlling the microphone, camera, orientation. Nothing that would control the microphone. So if we go to if we go to microphone, so everything is all right. So let me see if we have a recorder app. Because I cannot seem to figure out why. Let me see. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay, so it can hear me. It can hear me. Okay, so all right, so that's the way to figure out if our microphone is working. So it can hear me. So now, why is our? So now the question is, let's say start a new session. Are you able to hear me? Because allegedly, there is no audio being sent over to, AWS and to Amazon Transcribe, but I know the device is able to hear me. So the other thing it might be a permission with the app that doesn't have the ability to capture the audio. So let's see. Okay. See, it goes right away to finish. So I don't think it's actually capturing the audio properly. So, all right, cool. So we have a good starting point. So this is what we were seeing last time. Let me see. Let's go to let's see. Started player. Let's go to trying to see how much I want to copy. Audio player finished. Let's go. All right, so I'm gonna copy from around over here, right? To get some of the amplitude. That way it can see that it's actually capturing the audio. And I know the device, the emulator can capture the audio. Recording stopped. And then when we go to try to play back, it's like it stops playing right away. Like it doesn't even try to play it. All right, so let's take that in our logs, go to Kilo, and I'm going to say, when I try to play back the audio that I recorded, it stops right away. I know the device is recording audio because I was able to speak in another app and it captured what I was saying. I'm going to say the emulator instead of device, or say device emulator. When I try to play it back, I already said that. Here are the logs from recording and trying to play back. All right, so so basically I'm saying the issue that I'm having, and I'm sharing the logs of what happened so that it can analyze what exactly is going on. I'm going to put it in debug mode as well so it can do some diagnosis. So now it's going to start doing its analysis. I just looked over at my stream deck to see how much time was left. Like, I am so happy about this. Like, and it was actually a lot easier than I was expecting on when we were building it, because most of the time was like setting up and cleaning some things up. But then once we actually got into building it, it kind of worked right away. And using SpecKit from GitHub and using Gemini CLI, these are the tools that, like, SpecKit, Kilo, Gemini CLI, right? And then the Gemini website. Those are the tools that you really, really need to master. I mean, when I say Gemini and Gemini CLI, they can be interchanged with like Claude Code, Claude stuff, whatever OpenAI has to offer. But those tools is what's going to take you to your AI mastery, to like when it comes to like building these applications using AI as a coding assistant and stuff like that. I know a lot of people, like they use, I would say 99% of people, they use AI for the bare minimum. But there is so much more opportunities that we can do with it. One of the examples is how Magnetar is using it to assist them in understanding the math problems that he's working on and the math classes he's going through. So it's so many different use cases, right? And that's why one of the reasons that I'm doing this little series, I think we have, like, after this one, we have one more video to go through. That's why I'm doing these series of like these different roles that are available inside of this tech space, and not to be like, oh yeah, it's gonna take all the jobs. No, what if I evolve into being capable of taking on one of these AI jobs, you know? Let's see, what is this thing doing? And I'll say that, like, I mentioned this the other day, the OBS plugin cost me about less than $100, I would say. And that's because, and it would have been cheaper if I didn't like make some mistakes. This app right here, I'm guessing we're under $30 from API usage, right? We don't get charged for Kilo. We pay for our Gemini API keys, the tokens that we're using, and then I have my subscription to Gemini 3 Pro that I use for everything, you know. Let's see. Kilo wants to switch modes. Kilo wants to search. All right, so it's still doing something. So I think last time I said it might be something with the codec that's wrong. So right now it's searching the directory for wave files and PCM16 wave. What else did it find? Let's see. And it's looking through the recording page and the audio service to try to figure out what's wrong. I know there's nothing wrong with the transcription. Well, not that there's nothing wrong, but it's not even coming into effect that would be causing the problem. Kilo wants to edit the file recording page. Okay, so now it wants to read. So it edited this file. And then it wants to read this file. So replace await player from URI path codec, and then codec AAC MP4. It's trying. Now it's searching for something that says audio service. Maybe that's a class or something like that. Let's see. Let me see. It's not showing us the cost. Export. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can export the task history. That's cool. And you can save your prompts and stuff like that. I wonder, let me click analyze anyways, though. If I clicked analyze, what happens when I click analyze? Oh, shoot. I need to go set up my I always forget to do that. I'm gonna have to stop the app. So even, all right, let me see, AWS, log in AWS, forgot about that part. Cause I always have to, you know how I am, always exposing my keys, and then I have to go and create new keys, and I have to log in again, and it's a big mess. Can't wait till we get to the day that we don't have to do that anymore. Yeah, because we're gonna have a cleanup episode at one point. Once we get this thing working to a certain point, we're gonna have like a cleanup episode where we're cleaning up all this stuff. Let me see. What happened over here? Could not open because another editor. What? Let's go to edit unsuccessful. Who has it open? Hold on. What page? Recording page? Let me close that out. Let's see. Let's go to, I'm gonna go create my keys. I'm gonna create my access keys while Kilo does its thing over here. Going kind of slow today though. All right. All right. I've addressed the issue where audio playback was stopping immediately. The logs indicated that the recording was only 44 bytes, which is the size of an empty wave header, meaning no audio data was actually being written despite the amplitude reading showing microphone input. This is a common issue with the wave codec from Flutter Sound on certain Android configurations. I have switched the recording to AAC. I thought we had that before though, which is more reliable for mobile devices and produces smaller files. I thought we had that before. Change the codec, switch from codec MCP or PCM 16 wave to codec AAC. I thought we did that last time. Updated file extension from wave to M4A. Added file cleanup. Added write delay. Enhanced debugging. All right, so let me get our access keys created, and then we shall move on from there to test it out. So when I just take that file, let's move this file over here. That way I can at least try to act like I'm being secure, not be a total buffoon when I'm sharing my security codes. All right. Let's go ahead and I am going to stop Supabase, and I'm going to start it back up just to be on the safe side. Let's go to let me pull this up over here. We're going to do a Supabase stop and start just to be on the safe side. Not sure if we need it in this instance, but maybe if the local dads are backed up. Maybe if the we need it if those access keys are put into Supabase for some reason, then we would need it. But if it's not, then we don't really need the restart, but it's just better to do it. There's also a new version available. Recommend, how would I upgrade that? We'll figure that out later. So let's go and stop this and start again on our Pixel Fold. Then we will record and then we will try to play it back. Let's see. Recording again to see if it's actually going to record this time, or if it's going, we try to play it back, is going to stop it immediately. Last time we had this issue, hopefully this time it is resolved, because we can definitely see the recording amplitude is being captured. Let's see if we have sound on playback now. Okay. It didn't stop immediately, so that's a good sign. I don't hear anything though. I don't hear anything. And then, so the amount of time seems correct, but I don't hear anything. Let me see. Volume up. Oh, I hear it. You guys probably can't hear it. Let me check something real quick. Let's see. Where did I have that hide thing last time? See something. To see if it's actually going to record. So you probably hear it really, really low. That's just how it's playing back through the computer. But last time we had this issue, hopefully this time it is resolved, because we can definitely see the recording amplitude is being captured. Let's see if we have sound on playback now. So that part is working now. Let me get that again. Get that out of there. Hide. All right, cool. So we're making progress. Now, if I click analyze, it gets uploaded. Things are happening. And I knew this break was coming up because I was able to see it on my countdown. All right. Sweet. Let's see. Okay, so it actually got the transcript. It got the transcript. And filler word breakdown actually, which is good. Interactive transcript. AI coach, great job recording your speech. Your pace was a bit slow. Try to speak with more energy. I think that might be accurate. I think this is working. So when we get back, we'll see what else we can do with it. I think we'll take a look at all of our tasks that we'd have in Spec Kit to see what's the next step. But this is good. This is good. And I'll see if I can find something I can actually read. You know what? I have an idea. Last segment of the show, it is an article. And I will have this recording while I read through the article to get an analysis on it, right? What you think about that? All right, so let's go to break. Let's go to break. I'm excited. I am super duper excited because we fixed this particular issue and we are at the brink of getting it to get pushed into the App Store. Based on what we can do today, we can probably start getting into test mode to see. Before we do that though, we are going to need to put a limit on how much, because I can't just put it available to anyone. They just start like running up all of my AWS credits and stuff like that. So we're going to have to put some parameters in place here, like maybe 20 minutes of speech coaching, and I'll make it available to certain people. I don't know. We shall find out. But let's get to the chat real quick, and then we're going to get into our our very, very first topic of discussion for today. All right. Let's see. We got my guy Magnetar in the building. What's good? What's up, Magnetar? Magnetar says fraud. What? Where is the fraud? Yep. Where's the fraud? What's good, Magnetar? How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing amazing. Junior says in the government as usual. Fair point. Maggie says lies. You are the speaker of lies. It says I barely heard the oh, that is a good point. If you barely heard the time to duel, it's possible. It might not be going through the Stream Deck audio. So that is very good information, because probably the other one's probably going to say the same thing. You probably barely hear that. So that is good information, because now I need to make sure that we configure the plugin to make sure it's going through as the same way that the Stream Deck does playing a sound. It needs to do the same type of functionality so it can go through the computer. So that is very, very helpful. That's why I do all this stuff live, because I get feedback from you guys, right? So that's perfect. I got great feedback from Rod Brown, from Junior, about the OBS plugin, and now that is working phenomenal. And now I'm getting some feedback about the plugin where you guys saying you can't hear the audio, so that means it's not being pushed through. So that we gotta I'll fix that. But great feedback. Magna says, oh wait, the congressional side, okay, them too, but no, we're out. So basically, I was reviewing an article of these high school basketball coaches down here in South Florida who got arrested for theft and defrauding people because they were renting out the school gym illegally to people who didn't have permission to use it. So they were like, they were doing it under the table. High school basketball coaches. It was an absolute mess.
Stupid.
Man says Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Shout out to my guy Magnetar. Trip your car. You're so terrible. You're so terrible. Says I can't hear it. Yeah, you might have heard it later because it was low on my end, and then I had to share the audio from the computer for that one. So you might have heard it on the second time, but it was still kind of low. So maybe you might have not been able to hear it. Okay, so you heard it. Yeah, I had to share the audio because I have the computer audio muted and I turn it on when I need to. So that's probably why you couldn't hear it the first time, but I heard it, but it's still very low. So I don't know how well you're able to hear it. It says, sounds like a good idea to put it to use already and see if there's any, if it's any good as is. Yeah, I'm going to, I need to push it to, there's a few things to do, right? So I can test it on my actual device. We need to try it out on iOS as well. I do not have I don't have an updated iOS device, which I need to buy one, like an iPhone, or maybe I should get an iPad. Let me know, what would be better, iPhone or iPad? Because I have a phone and I could do additional work on the iPad. Maybe I should get an iPad. I don't know. But yeah, but I need to test it on the device, and then it's a process. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? Building these applications, especially these mobile applications, it's getting it working on your computer is one thing, right? But then when you have to actually get it working on the actual devices, or not even the devices, getting it into the actual stores, there's a whole another admin process of getting it onto Android, getting it onto Apple, adhering to these signing your life away, getting your screenshots and all that stuff. It's a mess, especially when you're registering a new app. It's annoying as it is when you have an existing app like the time cost calculator, but now when you're doing a new app, you have to go through a whole bunch of hoops and stuff. And then if the application is monetized, it's even more of a nightmare. So it's a process, but it's a well worth it process because when I did it last year, I learned a lot, and now I'm in a decent spot to continue with that. All right. All right, let's go to, let me keep going on the chat. Let's see. Magnetar said, wow. Yep. We got me, Mystify, in the building. Says, good evening, Ralph, Junior, Magnetar, your car, and the chat hope all as well. Shout out to you, me, Mystify. How are you doing? So happy to hear from you. Shout out to me, Mystify. Let's see. Junior says, yeah, it was low for me, so I knew it was gonna be low for you.
Junior says iPhone because that's what most people use. Fair enough, but both because it's a business expense anyways. Yeah, so the thing is, right? The thing is, if it works on iPhone, there is a 99.9 chance, or if it works on iPad, there's a 99.9% chance that it's going to work on iPhone, but there is that 0.1% chance. So I gotta look into it. If I can get an iPhone that, definitely not the iPhone Air, but if I can get an iPhone that like it can take the latest version, because I have this like iPhone 8 or something like that. But if I can get like maybe whatever the lowest iPhone is that can get iOS 26, then we should be good. And then and then for the iPad, I probably want a decent iPad, like an iPad Pro, because I can actually do it to do other work on. So we shall see. We shall see. All right, let's jump into our first break time conversation for today. So, are drones trafficking into jails now? What? So, I came across this article or this video, right? And I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the headline. I'm like, no, this can't be. It said that they're using drones to drop off contraband. Yes, to drop off contraband into jails for prisoners, right? Let's see what's going on here.
What you're seeing here is real surveillance video of what officials call drone drops. Watch drones operated by organized crime rings flying over prisons, dropping down dangerous contraband. And authorities say drops like these can have a surprising connection to scam calls like this.
Hello, this is Sergeant Christopher with the Potawatomi County Sheriff's Office.
The voicemail sounds normal enough. A man calling an Iowa dentist claiming to be from the local sheriff's office, saying he needs to talk.
I have some legal document that requires your immediate attention. So at your earliest convenience, contact me back.
Even the phone number on the screen shows the caller ID as the local sheriff's office. But in reality,
we were able to trace this all back to a person inside of the Calhoun State Prison in Georgia.
Incredibly, an inmate.
Here we go again. But it just shows how these tools, these devices, they can be used for good or for evil. This is I think this might be the first time that I'm coming across a story, which I'm sure there's plenty, right? But the first time that I'm coming across a story of a drone being used for illegal activities. Because we've covered drones being used for police surveillance, for power line maintenance, and like, you know, you throw up the drone up there, you take a look at the power line, see what needs to be done before you send a human up there. For beach rescues and fires, and we just recently looked for Walmart using it for deliveries. Other companies are going to be looking to use drones for deliveries as well. Now we have organized crime using drones to drop off contraband into jails, and then from inmates making calls to people to try to, you know,
behind bars in a prison more than 1,000 miles away, operating a sophisticated scam using phones delivered by drones, targeting multiple women in healthcare in Iowa and other states, according to records obtained by ABC News.
A lot of these ladies that got scammed, these doctors and nurses throughout Iowa, in a span of 3 days, these guys scammed about $530,000.
What's the scam though? I'm curious to know what the actual scam is. Like, how are they? And if they're in jail, like, where's the money going? And why are they having people like? Why are they dropping the phones in jail to make the phone calls? All right, let's find out.
Scammers telling them they failed to appear in court as expert witnesses and told to pay a fine.
This was a very well-planned scheme. They were able to research people, find out about them, so they knew who to scam, who had money.
The inmate then working with associates on the outside to impersonate law enforcement and meet the women, even providing receipts like this one to collect the money. Authorities say this scam was only possible because of the outside to impersonate law enforcement and meet the women, even providing
4/19/20, April 1920. That, yeah, wow, it goes $25,000. Gee whiz.
Seats like this one to collect the money. Authorities say this scam was only possible because of the escalating threat. Drones dropping contraband into prison yards.
It could be anywhere from tobacco, cell phones, drugs, tools.
It's a criminal operation that is increasingly putting authorities on the defensive.
We're under attack every single day when it comes to combating this issue.
In Georgia, 71 drone incidents just last month, the most ever. And just this week in South Carolina, a drone even delivering steak and crab leg with drugs to one prison yard. In that same state, one inmate escaping from a maximum security prison using wire cutters. Authorities say were dropped.
Did they just say steak and crab legs? Did they just say steak and crab legs? Oh my God. Steak and crab legs. I'm guessing the steak had to be cooked. They put it like, did they already slice it up and put it in a bowl and then they just dropped it into the jail? And who was it for? And how do they know they're going to be available to get it? I have a lot of questions about this drone drop thing, but especially like because I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I heard the steak and crab. I'm like, all right, something is up here. Something is up. Steak and crab legs.
In by a drone.
It is a serious, evolving, and not an imminent threat. It is immediate. We are in the throes of it right now.
Now, the FAA considers drones registered aircraft, which means prison officers.
And if they're dropping steak and crab legs and they're dropping tools and tobacco, drugs, that means they're also dropping in weapons. Because you could easily drop in you can drop in just about any size firearm in there. Knives, firearms, ammunition. They're dropping like there's no limit to what you can't deliver. Because if you can deliver I don't know, depending on the size of the drone, right? You can probably handle about maybe 2 to 3 pounds. Would you say, Junior? 2 to 3 pounds. So you can definitely drop in a firearm in there, or you can drop in like the firearm first and then follow, and subsequently you drop off the ammunition, right? That is crazy.
Officers can only stand by and watch. Most authorities cannot shoot them down, but a solution could be on the horizon, guys. In coming weeks, Congress expected to pass legislation that will give correctional facilities the authority to counter these drones. I'll say it takes a lot to surprise me.
Yeah. This one sure did.
This one really did.
You never would have expected this for drones. Exactly. Deliveries to homes, but not prisons.
I know, that video is crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That story.
But why not though? Why, like, so why would you not expect it though? Like, it wasn't on my radar, but it doesn't surprise me because the same way, you see, and this is the problem, right? With what she said, I never would have expected this. Why not? Because a delivery is a delivery is a delivery. Whether you're delivering to a home, to a business, to a prison, people, and I'll tell you this was probably underway before people had even thought about delivering to, like, because who delivers to homes and stuff like that? Businesses, right? So criminals always have a leg up. They're always the Walmart and Amazon and all these places probably thought about, hey, we could use drones for delivery for our products the same way that they are using drones to deliver into prisons. So that's probably where they got the idea from. It's simple as that. I'm not surprised by this at all. This doesn't surprise me one bit. All right, and they can't shoot the drones down, so their only option is try to intercept these like the contraband that's being dropped in. However, could you do a battle drone though? Like, can you have a counter drone where you don't shoot it but you crash it? Can you crash the drone? Have you guys ever seen like these drone battles, these drone wars? Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if we could do battle drones. See if we could find that. Not those. Let me see. They have like, or maybe it's not a battle drone. Maybe it's the racing drones. Let me see. Because I've seen some people flying some drones like really, really fast and stuff like that. Let's take a look at this one. So let's take a look at this one real quick. Share, copy. And now I'm going to use my app, my plugin. Drop that in here, fetch. So if we look at this real quick, right? Shoot. Go to here.
Drone racing has everything that makes pro sports a big business. The competition.
Halo Walker gets the win!
The fans.
Absolutely incredible.
The excitement.
Let's go!
Even a little trash talk.
You know what time it is? It's party time, baby! Woo!
One of you is going to beat the other one pretty mercilessly, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get worked, so we know how it's going to go.
Vanover and Halo Walker are two of drone racing's biggest stars.
So all to say, could they at least like try to crash the drones? Could they crash it? I don't know. You can't shoot them down, but can you crash them? I don't know. Anyways, let's get back to the chat. Let's get back to the chat, and then we're gonna get to our next segment of work. Let me see. Junior says, start off with this. Yes. They're doing. I hear you, Max. I hear you. Junior says, iPhone 11 is the oldest device that can still run the latest iOS, to my knowledge. It doesn't make sense to get the lowest iPhone. Yeah, I was thinking about like maybe whatever the lowest is, 2 versions above it, maybe. That way, you know, it'll last a little bit. Because the next release, you'll be in the same predicament again. Just get the latest. Nah, I'm not getting the latest one. That ain't happening. Because I don't like, I'm not gonna use it. It's just gonna sit there for every now and then, right? I can just use the emulator for most of the testing. It says drone drops in prison have been a thing for a while now, if I'm not mistaken, from when they first came out. I never heard I never heard of it, but it doesn't surprise me. And Magnus says, there's the scam. People always say that they learn how to be criminals in prison. That makes sense. That makes sense. Magnus says, I hate scammers. I do not like scammers either, Magnetar. And Junior says, these guys are steak. They didn't have the lobster though. They had steak and crab legs, but no lobster. That is crazy. That I really have so many questions about the steak and crab legs though, because what are they being like? I really want to know how they're being delivered. It says that's another thing. They cannot shoot the drones down. That's a federal crime. That's crazy. There's no, because it's still an aircraft, so they can't crash into it or shoot it. Oh, because it's an aircraft. Gotcha. Wow, that is insane. That is insane. It says, do it like this, right?
Bruh.
YouTube is way too harsh on blocking words for super chats. What? It's blocking words? I don't even know what it's doing. Hold on. Shouldn't be blocking anything. Why are you? Let me see something. Can I control that? I have no idea. Let's see. Moderation. That's for, I don't know. I have no control over that. All right. Let's see what else we got. It says you are still crashing into it with a bullet. That's fair. That's fair. That's a good point. That is a good point. kind of like what did the five finger, what was that joke on Chappelle? What did the five fingers say to the face? And it was like, slap. Good point. That's a good point, Junior. That's a good point. All right. Let's jump into another working segment. Let's do, so let me, like, when I'm gonna monitor to see if it's gonna show up on the Stream Deck or not. Let me just make sure I recapture just to be on the safe side. And then we go here. Let me make sure. Let me take, I'm watching, I'm monitoring it on the screen. So this is how I can tell if the stream, I'm gonna show you guys over here, right? This is how I can tell if it's capturing or not. So, should make it bigger. So here is the one for the Stream Deck. So this is my audio right here. This is the one for the Stream Deck, right? And I'm gonna press the 20 minutes. It's not picking up. So it should have showed right here when I pressed it, but it's not picking up. So that is something that we're gonna have to investigate on Thursday on why that's happening. Which, yeah, kind of annoying, but whatever. It's how we learn. We live and we learn. Okay, cool. So let's get to it. It told us that. So basically it told us that the filler word was actually, did I use actually?
What's this? Oh, it's only money.
Shout out to my guy Magnetar. Hit me with they need long prison sentences for scammers, 15 to 20 years at least. Magnetar is not playing about his scammers. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Magnetar. Shout out to you. All right. Okay. So basically, let me see. Recording again to see if it actually is going to record this time. If it's going, we try to play back. I didn't say the word actually that many times. Okay, so let's say, said 0 filler words, filler word breakdown. I didn't say enough though. So your pace was a bit slow. Try to speak with more energy. What else can we do? Let's say we are to, okay, so let's say start a new task. And let me go back over here. Let's go back to here. And so, all right, so December 14th, 9. I guess it's running in 3-4. Why does it say 9 p.m.? That is weird. Let's find out why. So the recent session says it was done at 9 p.m. It looks like it's taking UTC time somewhere. But when it is initially recorded, it shows in my time zone. I think Supabase may be defaulting to UTC. Let me check that in our debug mode. Let's send that over to see why it's using UTC. And another thing I want to do is after we check that, I want so if I go back to over here, the AI coach, it's kind of bland on its, maybe if we say more, it'll give us more. So after it figures this out, then we will make it give a more detailed report that is exportable. and then we'll read something that's longer to see how it handles it. And so we have clarity. I'm just looking around what else we have. And we have this dot on the clarity score trend. There's only one score. So let me go ahead and delete these old ones because they're no longer needed. And what is it doing? Okay, so it's checking Supabase to see what time zone is looking in, but we might have to go into Supabase ourselves to see why it is showing that time. Add analysis column. Oh, it's possible that when it's doing the analysis, like when it's storing the stuff in Supabase, because we don't have a date, like we're not setting the date and time on our end, it's using whatever date and time that Supabase is in. That would be my assumption of what it's going to come back to us and tell us. Let's see here. So now it's looking for where the recordings are stored to see. So basically what it's doing is looking for where the recordings are stored to see, okay, when we do it locally, it has the correct date, but then once the analysis is completed and it goes through Supabase, that it has the UTC time. It doesn't have the correct time zone. So it needs to see where it needs to, and my guess is that it needs to add. There's a few ways to handle it, right? It can add the date. It can convert it. It can set Supabase to what date it should be using. All right, so I've addressed the issue where the session was trying to display the UTC instead of the use local time. Identified root cause, recording from JSON method, and here was parsing created at timestamp from Supabase, which is stored at UTC, but not converting it to local time zone. Fair. Fixed the issue. Okay. Verified the cleanup. Enhanced the UI. I also added the date and time to the analysis report page so you can see exactly when the recording was made, formatted in your local time zone. Let's go ahead and we're going to stop Supabase and restart the app to see what happens. And then we shall ask it to, well, before we even do that, I'm going to go and take a look at our spec files. So specify constitution scripts, create new food, not that one. Where is our specs? AI speech coach, tasks. So we got all this done. Let me minimize these things while I'm here so I can actually read this. So we have all of this done. Phase 4, practice mode, advanced report, polish cross-cutting concerns, review and enhance UI across all pages, add comprehensive error handling and user feedback messages, write documentation for service and complex widgets, validate all requirements from quick start are met. So basically we're on the last steps of this application for feature 001, the AI speech coach. So if we go, all right, so now let's go back to here. So if we go, all right, so we reset Supabase. Let's stop this and start that. And then we shall have it okay, there we go. So now this says 4 p.m. So that's good. I would like, well, let's find out, how is the AI coach actually working? Let's find out. All right. Let's do start a new task. We're going to say ask. Can you break down how the AI coach is actually working? What it does and how it comes up with its conclusion. Is it actually doing it based off the transcript and not being mocked? So I just want to make sure we're not being mocked, and I want to know how it actually works. And then, because I think it's like so limited in what it told us. So what we can do is after, and while it's doing that, I'm gonna see a let's see, free. Let's go for trying to think of a something. Let's just go to Yahoo and see if there's anything I can read off Yahoo's homepage. Let's read this. All right, the AI coach works by analyzing the text transcript of your reading, not the raw audio waves. Here's the breakdown. Transcription, real. Analysis, real. The app uploads your audio to the backend function, speech to text. Words per minute, calculated by counting the words in the transcript divided by the audio duration. Filler words counts occurrences of specific words. Clarity score, a mathematical formula. Bad words divided by total words, to 1 minus that. Pauses, heretical simulated. This is not measuring silence. It estimates pauses by looking for punctuation, commas, periods in the return text. Feedback, the advice is generated by simple if-else statements, checking if your words per minute is above or below certain threshold, or filler words exceed 5. Verdict, it's not mocked. The numbers are calculated from your actual speech, but it's strictly dependent on the quality of the transcript. If the transcription service cleans up your speech by removing ums, the coach will, ooh. That is an interesting point. That is an interesting point. I guess in that case, I'm going to go to Gemini real quick. And we're going to say, does AWS or Amazon Transcribe remove ums and buts from your transcript, or does it get it raw? Let's see. I wonder, because that works, but I wonder if there's anything that would actually be able to analyze the raw audio, because it said like, how will it know if you're energetic or not? It gets it raw, attempts to provide verbatim transcript, meaning it will, all right, good. However you can configure it to, so we don't want it to clean it up. So that's good. Okay, so that means that that is working correctly. And so for the speech app, it is uploading the audio to Amazon Transcribe to analyze. However, which works, but is it worth? We'll leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that for now. I think I'll leave it there for now. And then let's go to, we're going to try it again. And I am going to pull something up to read to see if we can get, actually, no, before we do that, before I read, can we have the AI coach give a more detailed response to the analysis and provide it in a more organized and structured way with clearer recommendations and how to practice those recommended improvements, right? Because I mean, if it just says great job recording your speech, your pace was a bit slow, try to speak with more energy, that doesn't really help a person much. So I do want to throw that in there. And while it's actually doing that, here's what we're going to do. I am going to read this actual response and see how well it does. All right. So I'm pulling up the application and I'm going to say start new. And now we're just going to read this and then we're going to see what happens. All right. So let's go to, by default, Amazon Transcribe gets it raw. It attempts to provide a verbatim transcript, meaning it will include ums and uhs and other disfluencies, especially as they are spoken. However, you can configure it to clean this up using a specific feature called vocabulary filtering. Here is the breakdown of how it handles this. It is verbatim by default. If you run just a standard job, Amazon Transcribe will type out exactly what it hears, ums, uhs included, buts, ands included, even if you used as a crutch. Stutters often included I went to the store. How to remove them? Vocabulary filtering. To remove these words, you must use vocabulary filtering feature. This is not a magic AI context switch. It is a list-based filter. You create a list. Okay, so it's not even using AI. You create a list. You create a text file listing the specific words you want gone. You choose the method. When starting to the transcription job, you apply this filter and select one of 3 options. Remove deletes the word entirely from the text. Mask replace the words with asterisk. Tag keeps the word but flags it in the metadata. Useful if you want to highlight them for a speaker coach app. So tag says keeps the word but flags them. Ooh, that might be good. We might want to include that in our transcribe to tag it. The dangers of removing but. There is critical distinction between ums and but when using this tool. Ums, disfluency, safe to remove. It's rarely essential to sentence structure, but conjunction, not safe to remove via vocabulary filtering. Amazon Transcribe filter looks for text matches, but not grammatical intent. If you add but or like to your removal list, it will delete every instance of that word, turning I like pizza, but it's hot into I like pizza, it is hot. Some recommendation: if you need to clean up if you need a clean transcript without ums, create a vocabulary filtering specifically for non-lexical disfluencies, ums, but do not include words like but, and, or so in that filtering, or you will end up with broken sentences. All right, so that is our reading. Let's go and stop this, and I'm gonna play it. Okay, that works. And I'm going to click analyze. let's see how it does with the analysis. It's passing it through. Really cool. So right now it's uploading it to S3, and then it's going to pass it to Amazon Transcribe. Amazon Transcribe is going to create the transcript, and then it's going to count like how many words that we use, how many words per minute, how many filler words that we use, which we probably didn't use many, if any, filler words. Although Transcribe will capture those filler. You know what we need to do? Because it is not about Transcribe. It is about the AI analysis being able to see. So basically, the AI analysis is supposed to be able to see if we use those filler words, if we use them correctly or not, right? So let me see. So all right, so it caught everything, right? So here, great job recording your speech. Your pace was a little fast. Try to slow down for better clarity. You used quite a few filler words. Try pausing instead of saying and which is fair, but I just want to make sure it's not just, let me see. It says, works by analyzing the text transcript, not by raw audio wave files. So I want to make sure that we're not just relying on the text, and that the AI coach actually reads through the text to see if it makes sense. Like if you're reading something versus if you're actually saying it. So we'll figure that out. All right. So I significantly upgraded the AI coach feedback system, analysis report page, structured insights, replace the simple text feedback with a structured coaching insight system, detailed breakdown. Each insight now includes observation-specific data points. You're speaking at 170 words per minute. Recommendation, why this matters. Slowing down helps your audience. Practice tip, a concrete actionable exercise. Practice reading a paragraph and deliberately pausing. Visual organization, insights now displayed as distinct cards with icons and color coding. Green for good, orange, red for improvements. Covered metrics, pace, or optimal speeds. Filler words, specific advice if using 5 or more. Clarity, additional tips if clarity score is below 70. The AI coach provides actionable how-to advice rather than just stating stats. The last thing that I would want to make sure, I want to make sure the AI coach is actually reading the transcript and understanding the context to make sure we're not counting filler words that might be part of the text or speech. We want the analysis of the transcript to be dynamic so that the user has more confidence. Also, we should include a summary of what the recorded audio / speech was about and have the ability to name the session in case the user wants to review it later. All right, so I'm going to send that off and then we're going to go to break. But I just wanted to have it to start working on this while we are at break. And that's the beauty of using AI for this stuff, because while it's working, we can go to break, have a lunch break, a smoke break, smoke them if you got them. Do not smoke. Smoking is bad for you, right? But we can go and do something else while it's working, and then we can come back to it. All right, but let's go to break. So let me check the chat really quick, and then we'll get there. Let me see. Ooh, got a lot of stuff coming in here. And one more time for my guy Magna. Shout out to my guy Magnetar for the $5 super chat. They need long prison sentences for scammers. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And Junior says, absolutely not. Who is paying for them to be in there? I lost context. Oh, okay, I got you. So Junior says they do not need 15 to 20 years because who is paying for those scammers to be in jail for 15 to 20 years? We're paying for it too. There's no winning. There is no winning. There is. Can't we just like ship them off somewhere? Can't we just ship them somewhere? I don't know. Magnus says, us, you want to be safe or not? Safety is not my priority. Freedom is. That's also a good priority. But can we just ship them off somewhere? Maybe that's wrong. It's either that or keep letting people fall into nonsense. It says, oh, okay, freedom to scam, good to know.
Bruh.
Safety is what caused them to force vaccinated people and their kids. Good point. And safety is your priority. It says, and safety is your priority. Otherwise, you no longer need to support. It says, when the government says they're here to I stand by that one. A president told you that too, right? When the government says, hello, I'm here to help, that means you run, pack it up and run like crazy. It says, you know good and well that isn't safety. The pandemic was an excuse to force the junk and people bought into it. That's freedom. Freedom for me is to take my safety into my own hands, not the government. I agree with that too. It's harsher penalties is not taking your freedom. Quick question: Are you a? All right. Now we are getting way too far now. Junior is not a scammer. Come on. The government said it was about safety and told us we couldn't go to church. They did say that. That is true. It says if no, then you got nothing to worry about. I disagree about the nothing to worry about because at the end of the day, we're still paying. It's like. They always end up winning. The scammers still end up winning, and we still end up losing because now the scammers, they get a 15, 20 year bid, right? We're paying for them, and they're getting steak and crab legs delivered to them via drone. I have never had anything delivered to me via drone, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, all right. It says there was church online. Not sure what you mean. There was church online, but there were also protests in the street. And they said that, you know what? Viruses make an exception for injustice. So I'm just saying, they said viruses make an exception for injustice, but if there's no injustice, then the virus will eat you alive. That's what they said. That's what they said. It says you sound just like the government who profits the most when people go to prison for so long. The people that own the prison by our taxes, longer sentences. You guys are hilarious. I wanted to go into prison as I wanted to go in person as I always did. Online it's not the same. Pastors were being arrested. I mean, I will also say pastors are being arrested now too. I don't sound like the government. I sound like someone who actually hates crime instead of just letting the chips fall. Unlike others, I actually know how to meet in the middle. I see both sides. Gotta get with the program instead of having all these extreme views, both sides. I don't believe in compromise. That's how we lose rights. That's also true too. You guys are going for a while. All right, let me see. What price of yours did I take? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Your rights ain't on my radar, bro, so no need to point fee. I believe prison should be hard. I agree with that too. Says hopefully TCR doesn't read all of the derogatory. I got into it. Yeah, it's the lunch break thing. It's all part of what we need to fix on Thursday. It's together. The sound is not coming through the system, so that is something that we need to fix. So I'm happy you let me know that. So let's see. I said the same thing in college. The instructor said it was unconstitutional. I said ship them elsewhere. That's what I would do. But I do like the hard labor too, though. The hard labor should be constitutional, right? Let's see. I don't even get the virus mark. It says the government change based on the current administration. One day it's them, the next day it's you. That is also true too. That is also true. How does the saying go? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I see both of your points. I see both of your points, right? But we are going to jump into our next break. That was a fascinating, riveting conversation, I must say. That was riveting. We're going to jump into our next break time conversation. We're going to be talking about the chatbot wars heat up. OpenAI versus Google Gemini. Who will win? Let's get into it.
We've been talking a lot about the AI trade in recent weeks, some throwbacks to the .com area when we're talking about circular funding and vendor financing. Right now, we're seeing this race in chatbots. Is there a plain language way to look at it? Is there some comparison that kind of applies to everyday life that we can look at it? Is it kind of similar to, I've heard somebody talk about VHS and beta, and the battle isn't over the tech, it's on who can just kind of take the mainstream aspects that people are looking for and deploy it faster?
So in deploying technology into society or into new markets, there's always going to be two elements of that battle. The first is technological. You cannot be, for example, a major phone provider in the world on the hardware side if your cameras take pictures that still look like the digital cameras from, maybe 15 years ago. So you have to make sure that the technology itself is up to par and is capable of being able to keep up with others who are developing that technology. But that's only one piece of the battle. The larger battle is thinking about how you capture users' attention. So you can build all the great tech that you want, but who will come and actually use that technology? And so as we're trying to figure that out, what we're seeing now is a natural evolution in the AI race to follow that general market concept, where they're moving away from fighting over who has the best models, who has the best training techniques, the best inference techniques. And we're moving into how do we get users to consistently use our products and technology and profit from that. And so right now, the technology gap between Gemini and OpenAI is essentially closed. I mean, Gemini 3 is basically a model, a marvel of engineering, and so is ChatGPT 5. But again, we're moving away from cool technology to how do we get people to use it. Now, in reality, Google has more channels to distribute.
Okay. She said a lot. I was trying to follow along, and to summarize basically what her end goal to say was, it's moving past what the models can do, like the quality of the models, to how to get people to actually use OpenAI's ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Claude. I know that developers love Anthropic and Claude. I mainly use Gemini, and I think I think she's about to share something that I share all the time of how Gemini has cornered the market because they are owned by Google, and they can easily, Google can easily plug and play into whatever it wants.
Their AI, right? They can stick it inside of a multitude of their products, but OpenAI has something that Google is still.
She could have went into this kind of frustrates me, because she did a whole lot of talking about not really saying much. It was very, maybe she doesn't really, maybe she's just reading from a script, but I would have highlighted the fact that how Gemini, what it can actually plug into. It can plug into your Google Slides, your Google Docs, your Google Sheets, your Google Forms. It can plug into, when you're using literally what I've been doing the past couple of weeks, I will get Gemini to create slides for me through Canvas mode, and then I export it into Google Slides, and then I say beautify this slide, and when you see Wednesday's slides, you're gonna be like, that is out of this world. Yep, they look absolutely fascinating. So it could have went into much more greater detail about how it works with the phone. They just deployed, Gemini to be able to work with your Google Home devices and stuff like that. So I think she did a very, very disservice to how Gemini integrates really well with all the other products, and then you can, you know, connect to their APIs and stuff like that. And so I think, and Google makes it so much easier to get API keys to plug into other products, because with OpenAI you have to go into like all this, you have to go into like some backend system to do that.
Fighting for, which is habit. When you search something, you don't search it, you Google it. Well, now when you want to think, you ask ChatGPT. And there are 800 million people weekly who use ChatGPT. And so their moat is human behavior, not just code. So, you know, Gemini can be embedded inside of Google's products and be a formidable portion of the market share. But OpenAI is betting on the fact that people want more than smart spreadsheets, that they want technology that's ingrained into the fabric of society, and they're using that to introduce new products.
X, nobody would know better than you, but I just want to be clear. So you're saying it's a...
I take offense to that. I
How dare you?
I think I know better than her. I'm just saying. The way she glossed over how Gemini integrates, and here's the thing, right? Here's what like quote unquote ask ChatGPT. That it sounds good, right? But the kicker though is the way, like, if the majority of the world uses Android devices, right? And now Gemini comes built in onto these Android devices, they're going to make it so much easier to get to Gemini, and to the point where like there like in Chrome, I believe that they have, in Chrome they have the Gemini icon in there, so you can just click on. So Google makes it so much easier to jump into Gemini because they own all of the infrastructure. ChatGPT does not own. So while they were first, so people, like, it's kind of ingrained in people's mind, Gemini is creeping up. They are creeping up. And there's been other reports that talking about how Gemini is closing the gap in such a short amount of time. So I think her premise is like a year old. Like what she's saying is like a year old from what I can tell.
Dead heat. When we're looking at OpenAI and Google, you're saying it sounds like you're saying it's even, right? So with that in mind, as we see the deal between OpenAI and Disney, what does that mean for this race? Because they're going to have the access to intellectual property that all of us know and all of us love, and be able to kind of integrate that into their chatbot and integrate that into their image generators. Is that an edge? Is that a significant edge in your mind?
That's absolutely a significant edge.
Of course. Talk about alley-oop. Like, what were you expected to say? Like, if he said, "Is that a significant edge?" It's absolutely, like, it's not. I honestly don't think it's that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because because of intellectual property, so now you can get an image generated of like the Little Mermaid. I don't think it makes that big of a deal. Am I wrong? Does it make that big of a deal that because of Disney, a deal with Disney that makes him like? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
I mean, the Disney franchise is probably one of the largest media franchises in existence, especially with its penetration from users across all age groups and across, you know, different languages and different regions of the world. And so being able to incorporate that is definitely a market driver, much like in streaming services, right? Where you may want to watch a particular catalog, but in order to do so, you'd have to subscribe to one provider to get it. So again, we're seeing natural market trends that we see in other technological areas starting to affect the AI race, where, again, it's no longer about, hey, do we just have the best technology? It's about what are the unique angles we can take to get people to use our technology. So ChatGPT brokering that deal is a step in the right direction for them to continue to be the household AI name.
All right, so far we've been very focused on consumer applications. What about enterprise? After that code red that we heard of OpenAI, we've been talking a lot about this battle, but it really has been focused on the consumer applications. When we're talking about enterprise, who do you see in the front of that race? And what do you think about OpenAI's efforts in particular?
So I believe that they're taking two different approaches. Let me rephrase this. I believe that there are two different approaches that are being deployed in the market to be able to capture enterprise adoption of AI. The first is to provide infrastructure, which is the approach that you see Microsoft and folks like Amazon taking, where they're trying to provide the computing power and the actual physical hardware infrastructure and the elements around that for companies to be able to build their own AI systems or deploy it within their companies. What OpenAI is looking at doing, instead of following that old way of doing things, is they're attempting to build the actual products that businesses would need, right? And so you see the Instagram CEO coming over, you hear Sam Altman in conversations and in interviews talking about how they're looking to build applications across every vertical. If you go look at their hiring page, they have roles open for people to shape products for specific industries. And so again, if ChatGPT is the household name, they're already ingrained into society. Their battle is about imagining new products, whereas these larger tech companies are having to go sell innovation.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I love the battle. Now, you know, Gemini, OpenAI, throw in Anthropic into the mix, Perplexity, I guess, Grok. And how, like, basically who is going to use what's integrated. We just heard that Google just signed a deal with Replit, and I don't know how much Google would care about. I think Google is like looking for more enterprise level stuff. So getting Gemini integrated into the developer console, the developer experience, all of that. So I honestly think that Google would more want to take on a company like Anthropic, still get if they can get more people using Gemini than ChatGPT, great. But the ecosystem for Google might be just a different demographic, like companies, businesses. While so OpenAI goes after the people who are using AI to be their therapist, to be their boyfriend, to be their girlfriend, to be their spiritual advisor, while Google is looking for large corporations, $1 million deals, trying to get their API key integrated into coding models and stuff like that, right? So it's gonna be interesting. I live for it. I love, and I think OpenAI is still private right now, so I don't care. It's terrible. I really don't care about, like, as of this moment, I really don't care about. I'm team Google because I have interest in Google. OpenAI hasn't given me a reason to care about their success at the moment. That's selfish. I'm sorry, but also not sorry. All right. I'm just saying.
How dare you?
I'm just being honest.
I'm just being honest, right? I'm just being honest. They didn't give me an incentive to care about their success, to root in their favor. So just saying. All right. I'm going to check the chat real quick. We're going to get into one last segment of work before we get up and out of here. Let me see. Where did we get to? All right. So Junior says, that's your fault for derailing me. Hey, you know, like, my OCD mixed with my ADHD is terrible. All right. Says, who sounds like the government? I learned from you. Says, uh-oh, ChatGPT versus Gemini. Who makes it out alive? And says, we had our own small battle yesterday. Says, I think she's speaking about what she doesn't. She's a little like, I think she's repeating what people have told her, right? Because there's so many different layers to it. And she was just like saying very, very general things all over the place. So it was kind of hard for me to keep up with what she was saying. By the way, Gemini gave me problems with my homework last night. Let's go. That's awesome. Let me see. It says, wait, I have a question. All right. Let's see what the question is. And Junior says, trees, they gave Gemini icon in Chrome browser. Says, I saw it and was wondering what it was. And then I clicked it, they integrate it everywhere. Yeah, it's in all your Google Drive. It's like, and what I'll do at work sometimes, right? I will go into a document that is really long and I'll say, all right, can you summarize what this document is about? Like, what are the key points, what are the action items before I actually like start digging through it? And it'll do a great job summarizing what it's about. Mine says, well, not really a question. All right, what is it? It says, when you type your question in the search bar, AI automatically solves it. I think I got more out of that than actually pulling up Gemini. So that's another thing, though. That is another thing that Magnus was pointing out. There's different ways that Google is using Gemini. It has a search, like the generative search engine optimization. It has it built into your Google search, right? But then you can also get Gemini to follow a general question that I have, like I can get an answer right away. I'll do the Google, right? So let's say, so I can find an idea. If we go over to here and I say, how to update my stream key in OBS, right? It'll give me, like, this is the AI overview. It'll give me how to do all that stuff, right? But if I need to actually do something a little bit more complicated, or I need to like research an idea, map out an idea, then I'll use Gemini to say, okay, what if I do this? How would I do that? Where would I go to do this? So I can't really follow up with this prompt, but so it just depends which. That is another way that Google has it cornered, right? Because if you just put, like you said, if you just type it in your search bar, then it's going to give you the AI overview, and then it's going to give you the search results as well, which that's still an advantage over there, right? Let's see. That reminds me, DuckDuckGo also has an AI. I will try theirs for my map. Let me know how that goes. It says, you use DuckDuckGo consistently. It says, I used to use it, but I stopped because it's supposed to. It says, I used to use it, but I stopped. It's supposed to be better with privacy. That's what I heard. It says, no, that's not awesome. What's not awesome? It says, you missed. All right. What did I? Okay, let me see. It gave me prompt as in I had some issues. Oh, okay. What issues did you have, Magnetar? It says, yes, he misunderstood that it was giving you issues. I thought you said, oh. It says, Amazon has Molly Goggle. So what gave you issues then? I'm confused. This part gave you issues, or Gemini gave you issues? Or let me go back. Let me see. Let me go back. Oh, all right. So it says it gave you. I thought you meant that it gave you like practice problems, but you can't be like problems. Like when it comes to math, problems and issues are two different things, right? Problems like, oh, it gave me math problems instead of it gave me issues. Like, okay, then you had something wrong. Okay, well, okay, so all right, I got you. I see what you're saying. I got you. You had quote unquote problems when you meant issues instead of math. I took it as it gave you like you asked it for something and gave you math. All right, my mistake. With that being said, let's get into our last segment of work for today. Okay, so I had restarted this, and basically what I asked it to do, it said, I have implemented the requested features to make the AI coach more dynamic, context aware. Updated analysis service to include a generate and summary title method. It currently simulates a large language model call. This currently simulates a large language model call, OpenAI/Gemini, to generate a concise summary and relevant. Okay, so we need to update that, not to simulate it. This lays the groundwork for dynamic filler word detection, where the large language model can distinguish between necessary light comparison, modified recording model, and database schema. Enhance report UI. This gives the user, so the now permanent displays the title and summary at the top. This gives the user immediate context about what the recording was about. Next steps for future implementation. Connect the generate summary title. Okay, so implement the edit title functionality in the UI to allow users to rename their sessions. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that before we go to the next steps. We will go to OpenAI. I still use, although I like Gemini, I still use OpenAI into my applications because the reason I use OpenAI is because I'm able to set I'm able to fund it, as opposed to with Gemini. You probably can do it, but as of right now, it bills you on it bills you based on what you use, as opposed to I have counting down, it counts up, right? So that's how they would get. That's how my what you call it? I ran up my OBS plugin. AI coach app, select project. Hey. It's a new project. Let's go over OpenAI real quick. Let's do create project. Let's say speech coaching app. Create. And then create a new secret key. And we're going to say speech coach app API key. And I'm going to call that dev. We'll have a prod key and a dev key. And I'll say speech coaching app. I'm going to go back to the other screen now in case it tries to expose my API keys again. Sure did. All right. So now, so I'm going to say, let's implement the next steps. I have my OpenAI key to use the real LLM. Let's also implement the ability to edit the title. Let's go and send that off. I'll probably have to put the API key inside of the .env file. Add OpenAI dependency to pub spec. Okay, cool. So there's a Flutter OpenAI package that we can use. Update analysis service to use OpenAI for summary title. Okay. Add update recording title method to a service, likely transcription service or recording service. Update analysis. So those are the things that it's going to do. A second here. Okay, cool. Let's go back over here. Say OpenAI speech app dev key. All right. And let's go over here. All right. So I've successfully implemented the requested features to integrate the real large language model capabilities and allowing title editing. real large language model integration, added Dart OpenAI dependency to PubSpec, updated analysis service to use OpenAI, GPT 3.5 Turbo to generate concise title and summary from the transcript, added OpenAI support and config. You will need to add this key to your .env. Updated analysis support to allow users to tap it to edit the title, added updated recording title to transcription service to persist the new title to Supabase database. All right, so I'm gonna do this. I have my .env file open over here somewhere. There we go. And we're gonna copy this, paste it there. And that is it. So now we are going to restart Supabase and we're going to do a recording. So let's stop Supabase and start it back up. Okay. And I'm going to stop this. All right, so Supabase is started. Let's start up the app again. It's getting the latest dependencies because of the OpenAI edition. Ooh, that's not good. Got a failure. All right. Failure to launch. Let me do it again just so I can get a clean console. All right, so let's say I tried to start the application after the changes and got this error. Let's see what that says. Why is it unsuccessful? Was not expecting that. Let's see. What was the exception though? The method JSON decode isn't defined for the class. Okay, it sounds like it just needs to. All right, hold on. Try. The getter OpenAI isn't defined for the class. Okay, something's wrong with the OpenAI. So there's a bunch of stuff that's not working around the OpenAI portion of it. So it needs to fix that. Let me close some stuff down now. Let's close these down. Where there is audio visualizer on this too, huh? So, because I think we can't really see the audio visualizer. I have to look into that too. But that can wait. That part can wait next week. If we can get this part functional, where we can actually see how the new layout looks, and that the AI part is actually working correctly, because the AI coach wasn't necessarily going through AI from my understanding, because if it didn't have an OpenAI key or a Gemini key, there was no AI that it was actually using to do the analysis. So I think I was being scammed. I think I was being scammed. And someone needs to go to jail for 15 to 20 years. I'm just saying. Who? I'm not sure who scammed me, but somebody scammed me. It's taking so long. Search and replace content are identical. No changes would be made. Search and replace must be different. Okay. So what exactly are you doing right now? What are you trying to search and replace? I'm going to cancel that because I feel like it's taking too long. Let me do edit. And I'm going to change that to debug. And I'm going to say send it. Editing this message will delete the subsequent messages in the conversation. Yes, let's do that. Wants to read the file. All right, here we go. I've fixed the compilation errors. Corrected the enum getter. Okay. All right, so let's give it a start now. I think next week we can probably get to working on it on the iOS version. Oh, it's still failing. Hold on. Still failing. Okay. It is still failing with the error and logs below. Let's go with that. I would like to do a recording and see what happens with the AI analysis. But I mean, this is the part of it. Like as you add these new implementations, these new features, and we still have to spend some time dedicated to writing out our unit tests, our widget test, and our integration tests as well. The same way that we're doing with the time cost calculator. We need to have the same exact things for this. This is the search and replace thing again. We're still in debug mode. This may indicate the failure in the model's thought process or inability to use a tool properly, which can be mitigated by, I'm going to start a new task then. I'm trying to start the application after adding open AI support, and I'm getting this error. Sometimes you just have to start a new task and it kind of like gets a fresh mind and it starts over again. See now, like by us saying start over, it checks the pub spec, the config, and the analysis service. Because before it was just trying to go straight into the analysis service and do something there. All right, verify Dart OpenAI package usage and class names. Pretty sure it did a get last time. So then now it's going to try to do the Dart, verified Dart OpenAI package usage. Search for other uses of Dart in the project, fix class names, likely OpenAI. It should be OpenAI message model. It's probably using the old version of the name, and there's like a newer version of the name. Because OpenAI did do a restructuring of their API a while ago. So it's possible that sometimes these large language models have an older model of older knowledge, and then it needs to do some updates. All right, check for exact Dart version. And something that I saw with Kilo the other day too is that They added a web browser to it, so now it can actually go and search the web. And I saw it had like a CAPTCHA, and it was able to navigate through the CAPTCHA to verify it and get into searching and stuff like that. So I was pretty impressed by all of that. I really enjoy using Kilo Code, except for writing tests, right? Other than that, it does a really good job. You got to know when to start a new task though, because it can get kind of locked into what it's doing. Fix class name. So it probably found all the usages, and now it's going to fix the class name. And then we're going to try to start the application again. So now it's back to editing the analysis service file. And now we're going to try to start the app again. See what happens. Never got asked to run that one before. Let's see what this one does. Fix remaining. Oh, so Flutter Analyze will tell you what the compilation issues are. I didn't know that. I had not heard of that one before. So it's all the errors that it's finding. He's going to try to fix those. Kilo wants to review the top level files in the directory outside the workspace. It's weird. Oh, I see. It's looking over here. All right, try to. So we're probably going to do the Flutter Analyze again to see if that fixed it. Still getting errors. Adding the OpenAI caused quite of a kerfuffle. I thought this part would have been straightforward. And the other issue is, it was never using the AI in the first place, so it was kind of being deceitful. It was being a tad bit deceitful. Now it's trying to fix it. Because it keeps getting these, it keeps running into these errors. Probably let it run, because I don't think we're gonna get a chance to actually try the app, because it's trying to fix these OpenAI things. I wish I had tried to see how the new layout looked though for the coach part. It is what it is though. I have fixed everything. Did you? All right, well, let's give it a try. Let's see if it starts. Let's see if it starts. Let's see. Okay, it's taking its time. Okay, building, installing. Okay. All right, we good. We good. Okay, I guess we do have. I guess we do have the time. Let's go with. All right, let me read. Let me find something to read. You know what? What? Where are we? Gotta log in again. All right, hold on. Where is my super base? 127. Authentication. Okay. Test 3@test.com. Ugh, come on. And it should be test. Is it wrong? Test 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we are going to, so here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to do our last break. Start a new session. We're going to do our last break, and I'm going to keep it recording as we read through this topic, right? Before I do that, because I was going to end the show, but I do want to see if this is going to actually work. So I am going to check the chat real quick, and then we're going to get to it, all right? Let's see. Drew says, all right, let me go back to full screen. Drew says, that's a fair point. And Magnus says, gosh, math will definitely bring out issues in communication. Similar scenario happened when trying to figure out some of those equations. I promise I wasn't trying to rhyme. Magnus has agreed. Let's see. All right, so here's what we're going to do, right? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to, this is the topic. The topic is, should you stop telling kids you can't afford it? I did not read this article, but this headline made me do a double take. I was like, what? All right, so we're gonna read it, and I'm gonna use the app to record what we're reading, so that we can see how well or how poorly we actually read this. All right, so and we're gonna see if our AI is gonna be able to calculate it. I would hate to read this whole thing and then AI, it doesn't work, but it is what it is. This is how we roll. This is how we roll. All right, so I'm gonna start over here. We're gonna click on record. I'm gonna share this screen. Stop telling your kids we can't afford it. What to say when they want to buy stuff. It'll help them be good with money. All right. This article is written by Brad T. Klontz, and this is brought to us by CNBC Make It. All right. Can we go to Galapagos Island for spring break? What is Galapagos Island for spring? What is Galapagos Island? No, we can't afford it. If this exchange sounds familiar, it's because sooner or later your child will ask for something that blows past your budget. Once kids start school, they become aware of trips, toys, cars, and experiences other families have. Maybe they see a Cybertruck at drop-off. Maybe a friend just went on a luxury vacation. Maybe they want a backyard pool. Maybe. When you say no to one of these requests, they'll inevitably ask, why? This moment can feel uncomfortable. I've never felt uncomfortable because of that, but it can be difficult to deny your child something they want. Not really. It's not that difficult. I'm just saying it's not that difficult. The request might also trigger old memories of lack or spark feelings of shame that you can't provide what others have. This is not a me problem. Definitely not a me problem. Those emotions make it easy to get irritated or shut them down with a reflexive, we can't afford it. But as a financial psychologist, is that a thing? Okay, all right. Stop, hold on. Have you guys ever heard of a financial psychologist? I've never heard of such a thing. Maybe people play a role as a financial psychologist without actually having that title, but I've never heard of that title before. As a financial psychologist, I suggest eliminating this phrase from conversation with your kids. Here are 3 reasons you should never tell your child we can't afford it and what to do instead. Number 1, you're probably lying. What? Hold on. Hold up. Who are you talking to?
How dare you?
Calling me a liar? It's not entirely true, and kids can sense that. Let's be honest. If you were desperate, you probably could come up with the money. You could, for example, take out a home equity line of credit, sell your house or belongings, max out your credit cards, get a second job or third job, and work nights, weekends, and all right. Let's take a step back. If your child is asking for something nefarious or frivolous, and you say we can't afford it, it means this is all right. Hold up 1 second.
Stupid.
This is dumb. This is dumb. All right. If your child asks for something that is not important, the it that you can't afford is the thing that's not important. So you don't take out a home equity line of credit for something that's not important. You don't sell your house or your belongings for something that's not important. You don't max out your credit card for things that aren't important. You don't get a second or third job and work nights, weekends, and holidays for things that are not important. So this number 1 point is stupid. All right. The point is, unless your child is asking for a private jet, you probably could find a way to make it happen. So we can't afford it usually falls short. That's wrong, because the it is what they're asking for. We can't afford what you're asking for because it is not important. It's not, okay. Anyways, it creates scarcity-based money scripts. Imagine a child who's never allowed to have candy. What do you think might happen on their 18th birthday? They go on a sugar bender. Money works the same way. If your child grows up hearing, we can't afford it, they may internalize a sense of financial scarcity. When they eventually enter adulthood and are offered credit cards, student loans, and easy financing, the emotional response may be, now I can finally get what I never had. This can lead to overspending, credit misuse, and lifelong financial stress. I disagree with this kind of, because what leads to overspending, credit misuse, lifelong financial stress is the fact that we never had financial education growing up in the first place, from our parents, from school. I remember school taught us like $1, a nickel, a quarter, stuff like that, $5, who's on those, but they never spoke about necessarily balancing a checkbook, about credit scores, and they never taught anything about finance. So I don't think it's saying we can't afford it that causes that internalized. See, all right, here I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Right? This article is justifying the role. It's justifying the overspending, the credit misuse, the lifelong financial stress, the student loans, the credit card debt, of becoming a financial psychologist. And now it's like, okay, now I need to make this article. Like that's all that I'm getting out of this, right? Because saying we can't afford it doesn't lead to this, right? Telling a child why you're not buying something is different. Instead of implanting the belief that money is scarce because that's why we are $38 trillion. You know what? Stop. I feel like I keep pressing this. We really can't afford this because we really can't afford this because we're $38 trillion in debt as a country. We are $38 trillion in debt as a country. So yeah, we really can't afford it. All right. It says, you miss out on a powerful teaching opportunity. When your child asks for something expensive, it's your chance to explain why certain expenses aren't in the budget, what your family is saving for, why you're prioritizing long-term goals over short-term thinking, how overspending on cars, vacations, and houses lead many people into financial trouble, why delayed gratification matters. If they ask for something unrealistic, like an island in the Caribbean, don't shut them down. Use it as inspiration. Talk about entrepreneurs and investors who build wealth big enough to afford dreams like that, and how your child can work towards big goals. All right. Okay. Sure. Okay. I got you. It says, so what exactly should you say instead? Research shows that kids who grow up to be good with money are more likely to come from homes where it was discussed openly. Instead of cutting off the conversation with an abrupt, we can't afford it, try saying, we could do that, but we're choosing to spend our money on these things instead, and here's why. Then explain the reasons that maybe you're paying off debt, saving for a home, investing in for retirement, choosing to work less so you can spend more time together. Share your family's money values. Tell them what matters most to you. Explain how saving, investing, and making thoughtful spending decisions lets you live the life you want and helps you achieve your goals. These conversations will help your child build a healthy relationship with money instead of one rooted in shame and scarcity. So basically, you're telling them that you can't afford it, and then you're telling them why you can't afford it. Because you have better things to do with your money than wasting it on whatever it is that they want. That is basically the end of that's basically what it is, right? You still can't afford it. You're just not telling them. So you're basically saying, I can't afford it because I have better things to do with my money. That's what it actually is at the end of the day, right? Anyways, that's it. I honestly don't think this thing worked. The recording, because everything I'm saying, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you back over here, right? What I'm seeing here is, I'm going to put this back over here. what I'm saying, everything is saying a recording amplitude of 0, which would indicate to me that it's not getting any sound. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but I'm going to stop it. And if it doesn't work, it is what it is, all right? Let's stop it. Let's see if we can try to play it. Not hearing anything. Oh, it did record. Okay, cool. It did record. So that's cool. So we're good on that end. Let me try to analyze. While it's analyzing, I'm going to check the chat and then we will wrap it up for today. There is something that is in the, let me see. Error analyzing. Hold on, let's go back real quick. Why are we getting an error analyzing? Is it too big? Is the file too big? Analyze. Okay, it's going through. All right, cool. While it's doing that, I'm gonna check the chat and then we will check the results and then we'll get up out of here for today, okay? Great show today. What a great show. All right, let me get to the chat. Junior says, I never tell my daughter I can't afford it. I just say no. Oh my goodness. Can't say I have. I've never heard of financial psychologists. Sell your homes to buy items for your kids.
Do not come.
It was like over the top, right? It was like super over the top. Magnus says, I can afford housing, clothes, food, utilities for children. Yeah, you can afford what they need to survive, right? And then if you have a little extra, sure, but like, you're not gonna. Says, I will never, under any circumstance, allow myself to afford them Jordans, right? I can't afford it. I can't afford it. There are plenty of things that I want that I say I can't afford. Because guess what? I am not going to sell my house in order to afford some random thing that, you know, if it's not a business expense, then I can. If it's not a business expense, then I can't afford it. Let's put it like that, all right? Says they will grow out of them in a year's tops. Yep, they will. The article is a scam. 20 years. You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Just glad you finally get it. You know what, Junior? I have to change my mind. I think I'm with Mac. After reading that article, I think I'm with Magnetar. Give him 15 to 20. Give him 15 to 20 because he said I could sell my house in order to buy a toy for my child.
How dare you?
And Magnus says, facts. I could buy a new SUV, but it's not wise at this point. Therefore, I can't afford it. I cannot afford it. All right. This thing is done. Let's take a quick look at it, and then we're going to get out of here. Let's see. We have... Let's go look over here. So no summary available. So we have the edit. Sadly, there's no summary available. 6 filler words, 600. All right, this is not true. 673 words per minute. 50. All right, so somehow it didn't get everything. Pace too fast. This is all right. Something's not right here, but it looks better though. Pace too fast. This can't be accurate. There's something wrong with the calculation. We'll fix that next week. We detected 6 filler words. This can be accurate. All right, so it looks better. I like the folding look of it. It looks better. Oh, here's a little. I wonder how it looks if we half open. How does that look? Closed. I want to see it closed. Ooh, look at that. That's how it looks closed. That's pretty cool. If we say half open, what is half open? What is open? I don't know what half open means. Oh, like it's folded up. I'm sorry. I get distracted. I'm sorry. I get distracted. But is this, I don't know what this means right here by actually. We detected 6 filler words. Something's wrong with the pace, but we'll figure that out. Next week, we'll figure out the summary. We'll figure out, let me see if I can update this to say, article can't afford it. Say save. Oops. I can't see what I'm typing. So we gotta fix that too. But there we go. Article can't afford it. Yeah, that's basically it. So some things to fix, but we can see that what we did is working. We got to get the summary right and make sure that it's going through for the summary. Probably something in here that didn't work, but we will review next week and we will get it to work at that point. That is about it. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff. We're getting out of here. Let me see one. Let me check the chat one last time, see if there's anything in there. If not, we're done for today. We're done. We are done. So, quick reminder: tomorrow, Canon Conversation, noon Eastern time. Tuesday night, time cost calculator. We're going to keep working on that live. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the forward deploy engineer. Thursday, we have the next album, Purpose, coming out on all major streaming platforms. Also, we're going to be working on our Stream Deck plugin. Friday, the bug bite, and you know how it goes from there, right? But that's everything. That is everything for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you were well informed. You had a great time. You were entertained, all of that good stuff. Shout out to Yakar. Shout out to Magnetar. Shout out to Junior. Appreciate every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
And you guys have an amazing, amazing Sunday afternoon. Have an amazing week. Let's go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
With that being said, check out Resume Flow. Upload your resume. TechCoachUp.dev. See the sprint review. See the vibe code and chill. All that good stuff, right? TechCoach, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
They think the machine never break. Sometimes the battery hit red. I ain't stopping, I'm just rebooting. Why the bounce back? Go! Go! Eyes heavy like I'm lifting weight with my eyelid. Brain foggy, feeling like I'm stranded on an island. Coffee pot empty and the energy is silent. Fighting with the demons in my head, getting violent. Staring at the screen, but the progress isn't moving. Spinning on the wheels, tell me what am I proving? Body aching, bad breaking, losing all the grooving. Every single step feels like I'm just losing. Working 24, but the needle barely nudging. Feel like I'm a hammer, but the wall isn't budging. Burn on creepy, yeah, the shadow is a trudging. Doubters on the sideline, yeah, they always judging. Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the hypertension? Did I make the turn? Did I lose the dimension? Need a little break, need a little intervention. Before I crash out and I lose the retention. When I'm feeling fried, sucker to your sizzling. Vision getting blurry and the rain start drizzling. Hustle feeling heavy, motor vision and fizzling. Waiting for the steak, but I don't hear the sizzling. But I can't quit, now I can't to the flag. Even when I'm dragging and I'm feeling like a rag. Got too many gold packed inside the bag. Gotta push through even when I hit the lag. Just need a minute, just need to close the blinds. Disconnect the server, disconnect the lines. Lay the head down, let the body unwind. So I can wake up and get back on the grind. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Hold her high for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. They sit in the stands with a popcorn ready. Praying at my knees, but hoping I ain't steady. Wanna see the downfall, wanna see it messy. Wanna see me crash like a stolen Chevy. I see the side eyes, hear the whispers in the dark. Waiting for the flame to extinguish the spark. They wanna see the dog loot a bite in the bark. But I'm a gray white swimming like a shark. If I quit now, man, I win the whole game. If I slow down, they gon' tarnish the name. Gotta feed the fire, gotta feed the flame. Satisfaction that they seek is a damn shame. I ain't gon' give it to them, never gon' fold. Story of my fair is a story never told. My desire to win is worth my goal. Bigger than the hate that they tryna hold. So I take a rest, yeah, I hit the pillow hard. Reboot the system, put the ace front of car. Keep the haters locked out, stand in the yard. While I recharge the battery and lower down the guard. Just for an hour, let the new runs reset. Wake up cleaner than I ever been yet. Ready for the war, ready for the threat. Gonna make them pay every single little debt. They want me to crumble, they want me to crack. But I bounce back like a rubber on the track. Sleep is the weapon, get the mind intact. Then I hit the gas, never looking back. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Close the eyes for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. Okay, I'm up now, wipe the crust eye. Looking in the mirror, no more disguise. Demon on my shoulder, yeah, he finally died. Energy is peaking, reaching for the sky. Thought I was dumb and you must be crazy. Thought the burnout meant that I was getting lazy. Vision was blurry, now it ain't hazy. Pushing up Daisy, now I'm pushing Mercedes. Word didn't change, but the mind stay with flip. Got a new Mac and I put in a clip. Haters looking sick, yeah, they starting to trip. Watching me and sin while they sinking in the ship. Progress was slow, now I'm moving like speed. Planting whole forest when I planted the seed. Satisfy the want, satisfy the need. Made the competition turn around and bleed. I do this for the win, I don't do it for the likes. Coming up the mountain while you
riding on trikes. Heading for the top, yeah, I'm planning the strikes. Running up the score, yeah, I'm racking up strikes. Turning the engine, failure's not an option. Turning every obstacle into adoption of a new method. Yeah, I'm swapping and I'm copping. Only thinking is the records that I'm popping. Burner was a lie, it was just a little test. Put a head down, got a little bit of rest. Now I'm back stronger, pounding on the chest. Put me to the trial and I iced the quest. Yeah, I'm wide awake now. You shouldn't have blinked.